Defenses of the Tinubu government's performance and what Nigerians are expecting in terms of delivery of promises. Tonight, we shall be dissecting some of these issues for you. And tonight, the opposition is asking what the government has done as more Nigerians ask critical questions for the present situation of things in the country. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I am Sean Wakimale here in Abuja. Let's first tell you about the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, who is reaffirming the commitment of Nigerian police force under his leadership to remain dedicated in upholding democratic values by ensuring free, fair elections across the country. He was speaking in Abuja while playing host to a high-level delegation from the ECOWAS Network of Electoral Commissions, ECONEC. Mr. Egbetokun reiterated the importance of sustained collaboration between electoral commissions and security agencies, while also noting the positive feedbacks received from international observers regarding the activities of the police force during recent elections. He further stated that the force's responsibility in the electoral process spans across three distinct phases: the pre-election duties, which involve managing peaceful campaigns and resolving conflicts; election day operations, including adequate deployment of personnel, escorting and protection of electoral materials; and post-election duties, such as maintenance of law and order to prevent post-election violence, profiling of electoral offenders, investigations and prosecution of offenders. The delegation was led by Mrs. Davidetta Brown-Lazana, chairperson of the National Elections Commission of Liberia, comprised senior electoral officials including Dr. Bosman Asare, Deputy Chairman, Elections Commission of Ghana, alongside several others. So much to talk about. You heard what the governor of Kaduna said yesterday in Kaduna about how it's almost impossible for any governor in the federating units to challenge the words of President Bola Tinubu and what he's done to these federating units. And you heard what the National Security Advisor says about the performance of this government in terms of securing the nation. That gets our attention. And we'll be hearing more about why Nigerians should believe what a lot of people say they cannot see. We'll serve you first your political roundup stories, and we'll get back to talk more.
Nigeria has unveiled a new strategy to revolutionize its agricultural sector over the next decade. At a high-level dialogue between African youth agri-food entrepreneurs and African leaders during the United Nations Food System Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Vice President Kashim Shettima speaks on the importance of investing in young people to drive innovation and resilience across food systems.
Our agriculture should be market-driven, not about handouts. And the whole mantra is on increase in yield, because entrepreneurial capitalism is embedded in the very psyche of the average Nigerian. But what they are lacking is the wherewithal to place them on Jeffrey Sachs' space ladder of development.
The Minister of Labour, Muhammadu Dinyagi, has appealed to the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives to suspend the ongoing strike, saying it is not the best solution in industrial disputes. The minister urged the association to embrace dialogue while the government continues to work on addressing their concerns. The ministry says the minister held a meeting with the association on Tuesday in a bid to stop the industrial action. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has issued a warning against underage and multiple registrations ahead of the commencement of the continuous voter registration exercise on August 18 in Kebbi State. At a press briefing in Birnin, Kebbi, the resident electoral commissioner for Kebbi State, Abubakar Pawa Dambo, emphasized that the commission would not tolerate any form of illegal registration. According to the REC, the CVR will begin with online pre-registration on August 18, while in-person registration will start on August 25. He encouraged Nigerians who have recently turned 18 to either register online or visit INEC offices in their local government areas. Governor Caleb Muftuang of Plateau State says no local government area in the state is currently under the control of bandits or criminal elements. He said this during a media parley in Jos, where he also highlighted his administration's achievements across various sectors.
There are so many details we cannot unveil, but I'm glad to tell you that, in fact, among the states in north-central Nigeria, the Plateau State is relatively safer than others, because at the moment we do not have any local government in Plateau State that is completely a no-go area.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. So yesterday, we heard what the Kaduna governor said, Senator Ubasani, who says no governor may challenge President Bola Tinubu's bid for re-election in 2027 because of his support for government at the sub-national levels. He said no precedent in Nigeria's history is giving as much support to state governors and local government administration as President Tinubu is done. This was part of his statement at a two-day conference organized by the Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation, which is organized to strengthen engagement between government and citizens. Take a listen to him.
We should be open enough to take the blame, because there was silence. Where was our voices? Nobody was speaking in the last 10 years. Nobody was speaking in the last 15 years. Nobody was talking in the last 20 years. And we were sitting watching the developmental indices in northern Nigeria, both the northwest, the northeast, and the north central, have deteriorated completely in the last 20 years to date. We're talking about out of school children, yes, 18.5 million when you talk about the UNICEF index right now. But more than 90% as of today. The 80% was about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But if we don't take very serious action, we might not have a region called the Northern Nigeria. So we have to be careful. And we should stop blaming President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
When it got to the turn of the National Security Advisor, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, he said terrorist attacks have reduced across Nigeria under President Bola Tinubu. He said before the Tinubu administration came on board, the country was bogged down by security challenges, with almost all parts of the country's 6 geopolitical zones dealing with one issue or the other. Take a listen to the NSA.
You drive from Abuja to Kaduna free at night now, because we killed these bastards. Those ones you see there. Kachala Boka, Dogo Isa, Kachala Shekau. They were in control of those areas. We killed them, we cleared them. Not to talk of the terrorists, those who attack our trade. And it's not that they attempted while we were here in the office 2-3 times, and we repelled them, but we don't talk. God bless you, Air Force.
All right, you heard them. Now, how do you judge? How do you judge the performance of this government in the light of what you are facing as an average citizen? Whether you are in Kafanchan or you are in any part of Gombe or in Ebonyi or Kwara or Ogun State or Lagos State, where are you feeling it? Are you feeling the impact of this government? The conversation tonight shifts to the presidency as we seek answers on the state of the nation, government performance, and the road to 2027. Joining me is Mr. Daniel Bwala, a spokesperson to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to address the trending reactions to the administration's policy, the recent engagements between key northern leaders and members of the president's cabinet, and the growing concerns of everyday Nigerians facing the 33% inflation record, high food prices, and a naira trading at over 1,500 to the dollar, according to the MBS and the CBN. These statistics are staggering. We explore the government's response to opposition's criticism, its scorecard on campaign promises, and the policies designed to ease the plight of the average citizen, while also touching on the 2027 political landscape. Thank you so much, Mr. Bwala, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
There are a lot of people who perhaps will be listening to the governor of Kaduna State and the NS, and a lot of the people who spoke in that room yesterday in Kaduna, and be wondering, maybe they are not feeling whatever they are saying, and those who are directly bearing the brunt of some of the challenges the country is facing. What do you tell them?
Actually, all of the reports that were given by the key stakeholders at the meeting, from the NSA to the governor and other key stakeholders, are accurate, correct, and true representation of the situation. And just like the way you always hear people talk about, depending on whose side of the cup you choose to believe, whether it's half full or half empty. But in this case, it is obviously half full. I was talking to a farmer from my village. He was complaining because he started farm. He thought that he saved enough, farm to make profit, because as of last year, some of the farm crops were about 100,000. He said, no, it's less than 35,000. So, but I told him, I said, but it's a positive in the sense that the prices of items are going down. Those ones were not in Kaduna. These are farmers, and Nigerians are in the farming platforms. You can run that across all platforms from the reports coming. I'm sure that everybody will attest to the fact that the president has successfully glided the ship to a path where we are now facing recovery. And the recovery is coming fast. Whether you look at the report of the IMF that upgraded our economic growth because of the performance, of course, of the indices of the economy, or whether you look at it from the security point of view, where we do not have as much of unknown gunmen in the southeast. The case in Benue and in Plateau State, you have seen the improvement very strongly. The case of kidnapping and then demanding for ransom is almost behind our back completely. People in Abuja go about their normal businesses in the country. People who are in the energy sector, you see a gradual transition from foreign investment in Nigeria into domestic people, Nigerian people taking charge of the affairs of the Nigerian economy, thereby boosting, of course, our revenue, one, and then strengthening the economy because there is economic activities in the country, and then do I now say foreign exchange that would have ordinarily gone abroad if the foreign companies in Nigeria operating now will be circulating in the economy. So and then if you look at it from the point of view of education, whichever strata of our national life that you look at, you can conveniently and boldly say that this administration has successfully turned the tide, and we are now approaching full recovery.
Why does it look and seem like the average person is not feeling whatever you say are those advantages and the benefits just yet?
Yes, because that comment usually is from the prism of the opposition. For example, if I ask you, the 300,000 Nigerians who are from indigent families who have benefited from the NEL fund funding, are they not average Nigerians? The farmers who all over the country now can see the reduction of the consumers who can see the reduction of the cost of food items, are they not the ordinary Nigerians? The farmers who have benefited largely from the benefits that have come to them by the policies of this government, are they not the ordinary Nigerians? So sometimes when people talk about the ordinary Nigerian is suffering, I wonder whether they are talking to spirits. Because the individuals we are talking about who are impacted positively by this the development are the ordinary Nigerians. But of course, if you are looking at Nigeria from the lenses of the opposition who are on the wild goose chase, you can never see a Nigeria working.
You heard what Governor of Kaduna State said there, that there shouldn't be any governor that would challenge President Tinubu because of the monies that states are now benefiting more. And those who will realistically say that it's not as if President Tinubu is dashing anybody, any state's money. This is the common patrimony of this nation, and the removal of few subsidies, which are now going into the state, and as though those who have criticized this government and the APC, making it look like the federating units are being dashed money. Is it possible that the realization come and that narrative is changed?
There have been precedents before President Bola Tinubu. They did not consciously take the decision that was required to improve the revenue that will go to the governors. So why President Tinubu has to be commended is because he did what others will not do. And you know what funny thing, Mr. Sheon? I have not seen one opposition governor in Nigeria who has come out to complain about revenue. They have, for example, the governor of Zamfara has even praised the administration because he has increased revenue. You know, of course, of the governor of Anambra State. You know the party he belongs to. How about the governor of Enugu? The party he belongs to. What about the governor in Abia? The party he belongs to. All the governors in Nigeria are having the best of time, like they are having what we call the oil boom in their history as a country. You know what I mean? 27 states at the time was bankrupt. Salaries were not paid. That is not a conversation now. It is almost like an anathema to talk about people not being paid salary, because that governor will be looked upon like a Lucifer, because there is revenue enough to pay the salaries, revenue enough to meet with the minimum wage, revenue enough for you to embark on project to pay your debt and then to look to the future.
It's not as though that there was one genius action or a magic one that was done. It was a decision that would have come a month after, naturally,
right,
by the execution of time and by the force of law.
No,
because the law has prescribed that by the end of June, there isn't any budget for fuel subsidy any longer.
So if the president did not want to remove the subsidy, if the argument that is made that because there have been a legislation to that effect, the president will still sponsor a legislation to repeal the one that was sent. And then he looks back and then start all these struggles that will be having the cyclical effect of borrowing.
The president repealed the PIA that naturally would have come into effect
and then
by June.
Yes, and then restructured.
And the budgetary design that he cannot adjust by natural effect. The president's hands were going to be tied. Either you like it or not, subsidy was gone by the end of June.
No. See, if you bring a law or you're confronted by a law that you feel is going to be injurious to the people, you simply bring a law to repeal and replace. And the National Assembly have the power of the purse. They also have power of appropriations and then lawmaking. So if the president is intentional about not wanting fuel subsidy to be removed, he will even bother. Do you know what the blessed memory, General Buhari told Garba Shehu? He said, what President Bola Tinubu did is quite brave. He said, when I wanted to do it, people have been advising me, that's why I couldn't do it. He said, I am very sure if he had not pronounced that in Ego Square, by the time he gets to Villa, he may never be able to remove the subsidy. And this is what characterizes President Bola Tinubu from any and every of the candidates that are running for it. Courage and courageous decision. His hallmark, his legacy anchors on this. The hallmark of a leader is the ability to make a courageous decision, but at the right time. You can make a decision at the wrong time.
Without putting in the necessary buffers.
No, so those who said they would have used the buffer, we have asked them to talk about the buffer. There is no buffer without money. There was no money in the country when he took over. The person who made an argument that came close to that is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I spoke for him in the campaign. His position about subsidy was quite clear. He said he was never going to remove it at once. It's going to be incremental and gradual. He said they did it during President Obasanjo. And the question that you can ask now, if they did it at that time, why is it that it hasn't been done?
All of these, Mr. Boala, is the fact that there is a growing agitation against this government. Why do you think so?
Sponsored by the opposition, yeah.
And it seems to be coming from your region, the northern region.
So let me tell you, see, the concept, the issue about the northern region has been overblown. You see, because the governors that every day come out to speak well of the president are from the north. The meeting of yesterday, 2 days ago, was in the north.
The governors and the ordinary people on the street, they are two different things. So those who determine who governs them are the ones who are complaining.
Now, if I ask you, and very bluntly, to tell me a singular ordinary citizen in the north or group of citizens in the north who say there is a growing agitation against President Bola Tinubu, you will not find one, even if you start from here to Antarctica.
So every 200 million Nigerians are okay with whatever.
No, we'll come to 200 million. No, we'll come to 200 million. Let's start from the north. So what you are hearing are a set of people in the north who believe it is their birthright to be in government. Some of them were in the past government for 8 years. After a new government has come, they want to be in the center of attention in the next government. And this government believes in equal distribution of opportunities to those who have not had the privilege. They are angry and they form a group. They say they want to remove him. They are now scattered like sheep without shepherd in the wilderness. In fact, one of them who say, I made the president, I'll remove him. Yesterday also, he was suspended for 40 years. He will resume politics when he's getting to 90-something years. They are confused. Completely confused.
If you see the amount of the aggregation and the coming together of the opposition voices against this government, we've not seen it in the past years in Nigeria's politics. Not even in the merger of the APC.
There is no merger. Let me tell you something, Mr. Shehu, and I will be honest with Nigerians. This coalition issue you're hearing is overblown. There is no coalition anywhere. Do you know why? Those who left the PDP, who are the proponent of this coalition, is just a handful of people that left. The governors of People's Democratic Party have not followed them. The National Working Committee have not followed them. The national executives have not followed them. Where is the coalition? They are even toasting to get somebody to come around on the platform of PDP. Where is the coalition? This coalition, you had not more than 13 people. But Nigeria is a nation that celebrates new information.
But that's not true.
Okay,
the people that we saw there, and I can mention over 20 for you, just by mere looking at the
not
pictures.
Spectators.
No,
I'm talking of the anchored people, with political agenda.
You talk about Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi,
2,
Nasiru El
3,
Rufai, David Mark,
4,
Chief John Oyebu,
5.
You saw Dele Momodu,
6.
you saw Senator Ben Obi.
So you are now gradually going away from stakeholders to citizens.
No, look at them. That's Malami over there in the picture.
So let me tell you something.
They are listening of Nigerians, eminent Nigerians, former governors.
You just said the population of Nigeria is 200 million.
Over 200 million.
So these people you call the coalition, let's be honest with Nigerians. In the whole of that room, are they up to 300? They are not.
When you're forming a party, do you bring every member of the party into the room?
They don't even have a party. This ADC you're hearing about, what they did is called forceful takeover. Hostile takeover. In company law, you did that. You know the consequence of a hostile takeover. A lot of people don't know. Their chairman, who they, gave whatever they gave, and he handed the party to them, even was saying that our administration promised him 3 ministerial slots and some money.
And that's the accusation against your government, that your government go after opposition voices, go after, he was claiming that it was being offered 3 different ministerial positions.
Let me tell you, I did criminology, where you study the mind, the mental element of people who have the propensity to commit crime. And there is a fact pattern you judge from the way somebody talks to derive or to deduce the inference of truth. Anybody who has such a strong allegation and wants to make an optics out of it will mention the name of the public officials and will mention the circumstances that they did that. If they are going to charge you in court, then you have to quote the offense and the particulars of the offense. He says senior public officials. Who are they? Do you think President Bola Tinubu in this government, apart from President Bola Tinubu, nobody in this government can give ministerial position to anybody? And if President Bola Tinubu will give you or promise you ministerial position, he will speak to you directly. Of course, the president has spoken to the people that are high up. He has spoken to the people that are low. You will never believe the president will see so person. That's his idea and that's his politics. If he sees value in you, he will look for you. Did this man meet president? Let him mention even the public official. But of course, in politics, it is only in politics people trafficate right and turn left. In the sense that he will say what he wants to say in order to achieve 2 things. One, for the individuals he's doing business with to think that he has some integrity and value. That's the reason why he didn't cave in. And then on the other side, to give the world the impression that he's such a special person that this government, imagine, this government will go to him and say, we'll give you 3 ministers. Don't give them platform to run. How many of them? These are nomadic politicians, internally displaced persons.
And those they are saying already that they're sending you guys packing in 2027. But the real issue the real issue here, Mr. Buala. The World Bank statistics shows that about 45% of Nigerians have access to reliable electricity.
Thank God.
And it's on tape that the president has promised that if we do not, after 4 years, if we do not provide you constant electricity, do not vote for us.
Yes.
And those who are rational, we know that with the way our electricity is today, there's no way you can guarantee constant electricity. Could Nigerians say, okay, that is the premise upon which President Bola Tinubu should not come back?
No, what he said was a statement of intent that is backed up by a commitment to make that happen. When you make
so
that,
now it's looking like that promise is a dash promise.
I'm coming now. When you make such a commitment, the next thing is you put it to work, which is what he has been doing. You have been covering, Mr. Sheun, the intricacy and the problem in that industry with the GENCOs complaining about not being funded, with the banks even wanting to take over their asset because they collected loan, they are not able to pay, with customer. You know the circumstances. This power issue, President Obasanjo and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, do you know how many $1 billion they sunk into that thing? By the time they say Jack Robinson, nothing is there, nothing at all. In this case, you can see generation, you can see.
But the president said that he has what it takes to fix it.
So that's what I'm saying. That we are laying the foundation, and it's obvious.
But it can't happen in 4 years.
So let me ask you one question.
So if you told us, Mr. Bwala,
yes,
are you saying that we should not be able to trust president for whatever he has said?
The president has demonstrated sufficient commitment in the way he has governed Nigeria so far that he has elicited the trust of majority of Nigerians.
And he made probably the biggest promise any politician can make in Nigeria's politics today is provision of electricity.
No, that can't be the biggest. He made promise in electricity, but let me tell you, look at the fundamentals. Number one promise, the security of life and the welfare of the people shall be the responsibility of government.
Has that been kept?
Yes. Look at us having programs like this before. You know how you would have moved in this country. Let me ask you, by extension, the Nigerian people. Recently, we've been having series of problems in Benue. Has it not gone down? We have had in Plateau State, has it not gone down? Look at the IPOB issue on non-government. You know 2022, 2023, the case of murder there. You know how they are kidnapping people, coming to people's houses in the heart of the town. It's supposed to be at about something and all. Insecurity has been degraded to a large extent. What we are seeing in Nigeria, I'll tell you, Mr. Sheun, are criminal tendencies that has no co-relationship with whether somebody is governing well or not, because it exists in every part of this world. In the United States of America, yesterday there was a shooting. In New York, in England, every day you hear that. These are some of those criminals, but the fundamental...
We're talking about 200 people being killed in Benue. We're talking about people being kidnapped in parts of Northwest. We are talking about Borno State, in your own state. People are being attacked in their own home.
The point is,
insurgency attacking people.
But when
consistently.
was it? Since the last you've been reporting, you are one of the leading...
There's almost no day that I don't report one form of arrest, kidnap, rescue, issue. So if someone does not commit a crime, would they be arrested?
No. What I'm saying is, have you reported? I watched your stories political roundup. I didn't hear anything about kidnapping.
So it means that there's no criminal.
Yesterday I listened to it. There was no kidnapping.
But before I let you go, Mr. Bwala, the reality is that the challenges are daunting.
And we're making.
And we are holding you, those of you in government, accountable to the promises that you've made. Not things, in fact, leave the things that you did not say. We are holding you to the things that you promised Nigerians.
And we're making it happen.
How do you tell Nigerians who are watching tonight that, well, things are not looking exactly as we promised, but hold on, and we're going to see do it. How would they believe you?
No, let me tell you, what you are talking about is conjecture. We are no longer in the realm of we shall. We have a lot of what we have done. I will tell Nigerians, let us give thanks to God that we have over 300,000 indigent members of the society who have now accessed funds for their education. We thank God. We have degraded insecurity in Nigeria to a level where people can go about their businesses, they can travel, Kano, Kaduna, Lagos, Ibadan, everywhere in Nigeria very, very well. We are thankful to God that we are seeing infrastructure in different parts of Nigeria. The president has put the economy in a place where things are beginning to work, and they will even be more stronger by the day. We also want to thank God that the leadership skill of the president has kept the country in a uniform and united front where the people of Nigeria celebrated. We want to thank God our girls won the African Cup of Nations. We want to thank God that Sheun Okimbaloye today is having his program without having to fear whether he's going to be kidnapped or he's going to be doing anything. We thank God, even for the opposition, we have provided a society where they can do agitation, they can do anything. And we thank God that by the time we come back 2027, we will consolidate on that.
Absolutely. A lot of political gymnastics from Mr. Daniel Buhala, the spokesperson to the president, is for the Nigerian people to judge. Thank you so much indeed for coming tonight.
As always, thank you.
We'll take a break, everyone, but when we return, we'll be hearing from opposition voices, especially the spokesperson of the opposition and the ADC. Malam Balaji Abdullah will be joining us next. Join us again, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's turn our attention to the Nigeria's opposition politics and the state of the nation under President Bola Tinubu's administration. Well, my next guest tonight on the program is the spokesperson of the opposition coalition. He's Balaji Abdullah, and as African Democratic Congress spokesperson and the wider opposition coalition. As we unpack the big questions shaping the political conversation today in the country, from the government's performance so far, issues of the economy, and to the persistent groaning of an average person in the parity of the naira to the dollar, 1,500 and above, security challenges to the internal reorganization of the ADC. Let's speak with Mr. Balaji Abdullah, who is live for us in our studio here. Thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
You heard what the spokesperson to the president said. It does look like everything is perfect in the country.
I had him. I had him. And I feel sorry for President Tinubu. Because if this is the kind of narrative that he gets to hear all the time, then it's natural that it's obvious that he lives in a bubble. And in the echo chambers of what they are telling themselves. The gentleman who just left here now was painting a picture of El Dorado, of a country. At a point, I began to ask myself, maybe I'm in a kind of suspended animation. I'm no longer in Nigeria. I mean, he was talking about insecurity being degraded. There are 6 law students that are still missing. Imagine the parents of these children who are just going to school, abducted, and kidnappers have the nerve to actually be demanding 120 million to free these children. These children are still in captivity up till I speak. And someone sits here and tells us that insecurity is being degraded. I actually think that President Tinubu needs to leave the villa and go on the streets and talk to people and stop listening to this kind of narrative and stop listening to state governors who are just saying what they think they need to say to endear themselves to power rather than tell him the true feelings of the people.
So, in all what has been said, and the performance of this government, they said, look, they've delivered on this, they've delivered on that, but you in the opposition, they say you see the cup half empty. But they are seeing it as half full. We are over the 2-year mark of this government. How do you see it? Half empty or half full?
The problem is not even whether it's half empty or half full. The problem is, what does the cup contain? What does the cup contain? Because when you are looking at the parameters, the analogy of half full, half empty, you are saying, oh, they are making efforts. No doubt.
Are they making effort?
Look, a man that will break into somebody's house to steal his things, an armed robber, will make effort. Everybody will make effort. The Yahoo boys doing things, they make effort. So the point I'm making is that it's not about the effort. It's about the consequences of your action. Whatever you think you are doing, how does it affect a citizen whose reason for voting for you presumably is to improve the quality of his life or to improve the quality of our life?
So,
do you know how many businesses have collapsed, even as we speak, by people who they have not done anything wrong?
So, Malam Abdullahi, I'm moved to ask you, and I put Nigeria in a proverbial vehicle,
yes,
being driven by President Bola Tinubu.
Yeah.
And for a moment, it's as though you have your driver tells you, look, I don't know where we're going to. All my eyes, suddenly my eyes are itching me, and I cannot see the road any longer. You know you are in danger.
You are in trouble.
But even when the driver does not know the road, and I've driven vehicles at some point on the express, and I've seen a failed brake. But I didn't panic the people in the vehicle. And as soon as I parked the vehicle, they were asking me what exactly went wrong. And I said, look, we had a brake failure about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But just looking for the right place to park the vehicle. They said, really, is that what happened? Now, as a proverbial driver, driving the nation, the vehicle of our nation, do you, for a moment, think that we are in the good hands of someone driving this country?
Sometimes you have a feeling that there are voices whispering to the president.
Is he a good driver? And who has passengers who are whispering back to
the question of whether he's a good driver or not will depend on the consequences of his actions or inactions.
You've been in cabinet before.
Yes.
The trajectory we are going as a people, does it look like a destination that we dream of?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because
so President Bola Tinubu is a bad driver of this nation.
Tell you.
Is that what you're
referring? Let me tell you. He could be. Let me tell you. 2 years after, United States, United Kingdom are giving travel advisory about our country that they could have given 2 years ago. So what it means is that whatever you are doing has not worked. Whatever you are doing to secure the lives of the people has not worked. So at what point in a lifetime of an administration that is supposed to last for 4 years do we begin to see the results of what you are doing? You told us that if you devalue the naira, if you remove subsidy, then you have more revenue. You have more money to share, which is what is going to the states, and they say they are having more money. Now the question is, more money going to the government, more money going to the states, but how does that impact on the life of the ordinary Nigerian? The kind of people who are begging for money to feed their family today are people who will probably not have, proud people, who will probably not have contemplated.
Maybe we're going through the rough patch and we're perhaps going to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Now, it is a duty of the government to tell us when we'll begin to see that light. If after 2 years, you are still telling us we are where we are today, and you are telling us, I saw something yesterday. Again, a statement released by some United States agency saying that while the government is telling Nigerian people to sacrifice, to suffer, government people are living in obscene opulence. We all see this. We don't need foreigners to tell us. So if you tell us that the reason we need to suffer is because we expect some reward at the end of our suffering, then tell us when the suffering will begin to end. Then show us that you are with us, that you are also suffering with us. But you cannot be living lavishly, buying new jets, buying yachts, building, renovating your villas, living like some desert sheikhs, and telling your people that, oh, please, don't worry, you will begin to see results. Don't worry, you will need to just suffer
but hasn't there been improvement? You saw what the NSA said.
Yeah.
You saw what the governor of Kaduna says. Governor of Kaduna says the reason why no governor can challenge President Tinubu is because they're getting more money and the states are faring better than any other time.
The
and the NSA said, look, the security under this government is way better than what we saw in the last 2 years before this government came into power.
I just give you an example of the children that were kidnapped going to law school. I'm from Kwara State. Banditry was a story that we used to hear happen in other places. Now you cannot go to a part of Kwara State. Now, as I speak to you, you cannot go to Patigi. There are other parts of Kwara North you cannot go to because bandits have taken over. There are some parts of this country where bandits and people, these are people's lived experience. That's why I said I'm surprised.
So you're saying that their reports are not correct?
Oh, absolutely not. It does not reflect the reality of the people who live in fear. A father whose daughter will be handed to bandits so that they will not come and kill the entire family.
Are you in the opposition, Malam Abdullahi, just wanted to grab power? Or is there an alternative that you have? Because you've been in cabinet, you've been in the APC,
yes.
You've been in the PDP.
Yes.
And a crop of the people that we see in your association of the coalition and in the ADC, the question people will be asking, what new things should we expect to come out of all of these lots? The question is, do you just want to grab power or you have a better solution? Because according to the voters and according to some other persons who say, look, Tinubu is the better of the lot, is the one that can get things done based on the candidates that were available at the election.
Let me quickly say something. When President Buhari, may God rest his soul, was in power, many people felt, oh, those were bad times, and the economy was going down. But today, how many people have you had who have said, oh, even during Buhari, it wasn't this bad? People who Nigerians never thought that the time would come when they would say Buhari's government was better than what we have at the moment. So when you say President Bola Tinubu is better of the lot, I don't know what you are comparing. Now, let me come to that. Let me come to the issue. Let me go. Sure, you are very funny. Let me come to the issue of people just wanting to be grabbing power. And let me relate it to what we both know to be the reality. The first point is this. The fundamental principle for multi-party democracy is that people should have alternative. I listened to the chairman of APC yesterday saying there is no vacancy in 2027. That is absurd and it is insulting to the Nigerian people. The mere fact that our constitution provides for periodic election means that there will be vacancy. And the APC and President Tinubu will need to reapply for the job they are doing at the moment. And they don't get to mark their own papers. Nigerians will mark their papers and tell them whether they have done well or not. Now, having said that, the immediate driver of the coalition was that the APC appeared committed to ensuring that they have left Nigerians with no alternative. If you look at what has happened to all the opposition parties before ADC came, there was no voice challenging what they are doing. Nobody asking questions. So what happened is that with the destabilization of these various political parties, is that lead political actors in different parties are now saying, let's come together and form a new formidable political party that can challenge for power, that can represent an alternative to Nigerian people. Now, what you see, even that alone, provides an opportunity for Nigerians to arrive at 2027 and ask themselves this question you are asking me. Has President Tinubu and APC made your life better? If the answer is yes, then they vote for them. If the answer is no, they should have an alternative, and that's what we have done.
Yeah, you heard what Buala was saying, that what you did, that David Mark, the articles, and the rest, and Aregbe Shola to the ADC is what it described as a hostile takeover, a forceful takeover of the ADC. Mr. Dumebi Kachukwu is already in court, and he's saying that you can't come to his home and take over his home. Dumebi Kachukwu saying, you are all jokers. That's how he described you.
Now, I don't know if you have this information. The last time I came here, I didn't have this information, but I have it now. That as far back as 2022, Dumebi Kachukwu has been expelled from the party. He's not even a member of the ADC.
But he ran on the platform of the party
in 2023.
in the
previous election. No, not this 2023.
No, he ran in 2023.
But the record says that he has been expelled from the party.
No, but he ran. He was on the.
I don't think he's.
No, he was on the ballot in
because
2023.
it was affirmed yesterday.
No,
it was affirmed that the
he ran for election because I know.
Yeah.
Because I know all those who ran, all the 18 candidates that ran for election in 2023. He came fifth actually.
But what I know as a matter of fact,
as
a matter of fact, because as recent as yesterday, the NEC affirmed that all those who were expelled from the party for anti-party activities are recalled or are readmitted into the party, except Dumebi Kachukwu. We were not in the party then, so we didn't know what.
Well, if it was in 2022, now, that means there's an error in their data.
Maybe there's
because
error in their data.
As far as INEC is concerned, this is the man who was on the ballot with the ADC.
But the point we seek to make is that he has been expelled from the party. And I was at the NEC meeting yesterday when that was reaffirmed. Now, that is one. Number two, who is talking about hostile takeover? Is it members of the ADC, apart from the...
Dumebi and some party chairmen.
People.
There was a press conference that we saw some state chairmen of the party, and three of what would have called the displaced executive members of the NWC of the ADC.
So what have you had since then?
They've gone to court. They said they've gone to court.
Yeah, okay. You see, the point is, it's possible that these people have gone to court because they didn't have information. And that is why I've repeatedly maintained, for us in ADC, in the coalition, we're on solid legal footing. We're on solid legal ground. So the individuals who have gone to court, we will be happy to engage them. Like I said, it's possible that they didn't have the information they needed to know that we have done everything in accordance with the law. The NEC meeting we had yesterday was very successful. We now have new executive in the party, and INEC was present at the NEC meeting. They witnessed all that happened. So anybody still talking about hostile takeover is behind time. What we should be talking about is whether this country deserves a credible, viral opposition.
Well, Abdullah, give me just a moment. We'll go on a break. But the question about who will be the candidate and the fight that is seemingly going on or growing internally in the ADC, and whether or not some people are already looking for alternatives within the ADC already, gets our attention. Perhaps, can Nigeria get a real deal from the ADC in 2027? And what are those options? We'll be right back after this break, everyone. Without our closing moments now with Malam Balaji Abdullahi, the opposition, coalition, and ADC spokesperson. Thanks so much indeed.
Thank you.
Your comment about Peter Obi is generating controversy within the PDP, and they thought that that was very uncomplimentary, what he said about Peter Obi and the possibility of Peter Obi going to the ADC, the PDP, and the fact that this is an Atiku coalition, and the fact that Peter Obi is already looking out for options, and the PDP is already cutting in. Doesn't that show that there is some problem within the ADC already, and you have not even started?
There's no problem within the ADC. Peter Obi has been part of the coalition from day one. Peter Obi has attended almost every meeting of the coalition. The reason Peter Obi has not come into the ADC as a card-carrying member was because he asked for leave to allow him to complete the election that his people were involved in his Labour Party. The same thing applied to Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, and they were allowed by the leadership to complete the election processes that they started in their respective parties before they come into the ADC. And that is what I know. As I speak to you...
Peter Obi is not a member of the ADC for now.
He's a member of the coalition.
But not a member of the ADC.
He's not a card-carrying member of the ADC yet, because he was given permission by the leadership to complete the election process that he started in the Legacy Party. He specifically asked for it, and the same way Malam Nasir El-Rufai asked for it, and they were allowed to.
Why does it look like a lot of people have already summed up the answer even from the beginning? They say, look, all of these is for Atiku to get a ticket, and it's an Atiku coalition. And the reason perhaps people are thinking that Peter Obi is already being courted in the PDP.
I mean, I can understand PDP cutting anybody that looks like can give them a lifeline. I mean, I can understand that. But what I know for a fact is that Peter Obi is in the coalition. I also know for a fact that this is not an Atiku coalition. What is at stake goes beyond. Like I said repeatedly, the ADC is not built around anybody's individual ambition. What is at stake is much bigger than every individual. And look, I'm 56. Who says I don't want to be president? Who says I don't want to be president? So we are doing this because we want to...
Because already you have a Kachiku problem. You are having an Atiku reputation problem. You are having...
What do you mean by Atiku reputation?
Because they think that Atiku, that is a coalition. All of you are working to the answer.
No, that's not true. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's not, you know, you can...
No, I'm saying it to you as a journalist.
No, yeah, I understand.
Although you know you've retired.
I can tell you.
You're a retired journalist. But I'm reporting to you to tell you that it's a feeling, and the perception out there is that this is all about this is an orchestration.
Do you recollect that even from the start, even before we unveiled the coalition, they were coming out to say Atiku coalition. Atiku coalition. It was deliberately engineered to brand it an Atiku coalition.
Is it not?
It is absolutely not an Atiku coalition, and we'll continue to maintain. And people will see.
Yeah.
You know, so
Malam, we're totally out of time. In 20 seconds, if you may. Why should Nigerians believe in this coalition as an alternative?
Because what we have tried in the last 2 years have failed. APC promised change. And over 10 years, APC has done, because every attempt that this government administration may make to distance themselves from the last administration is not possible because it is the same ADC government. And they have failed.
All right.
And Nigerians need to try something else. And this ADC represents the alternative.
Malam Bolaji Abdullah is the spokesperson of the ADC and the wider opposition coalition. Thanks so much indeed for your time.
Thank you very much.
That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimbale. God bless Nigeria.
We live in an era of massive innovation, true ideas that impact every industry and society, cutting-edge technology that gives you a glimpse of the future, intuitive minds that meet the demand of a revolution of talent. The future of enterprise lies in the digital world. It's full of questions and yet solutions. Join us on Tech Trends as we bring you the finest blend of technology and the latest happenings in the tech space. Tech Trends, the tech edge you need.
It's nice to have you join us. You're watching News Track on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Here are our top stories making the rounds at this time. This may be worrying times for healthcare in the country. Nurses under the umbrella of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives have embarked on a nationwide 7-day warning strike over welfare issues. This follows the association's meeting with the Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi, which ended in a deadlock yesterday, according to a source from within the union. Some of the demands of the nurses include the upward review of shift allowance, uniform allowance adjustment, a separate salary structure for nurses, increased core duty allowance, mass employment of nurses, and the establishment of a nursing department in the Federal Ministry of Health, among others. Meanwhile, the Minister of Labour, through a press statement by the ministry's head of press and public relations, Patience Onobia, has implored the striking nurses and midwives to step back from their action. He urged the association to embrace dialogue while government continue to work on addressing their concerns. The meeting is now expected to reconvene on Friday at the Ministry of Health as the government works out a resolution to the dispute. Some interesting news from Plateau State as Governor Caleb Mutfwang says no local government area is currently under the control of bandits or criminal elements. He made the declaration during a media parley in Jos, the Plateau State capital, where he also highlighted his administration's achievements across various sectors.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State is hosting this media parley to provide a mid-term assessment of his administration.
Governance is for the benefit of the people.
Insecurity on the plateau dominates the briefing as the governor laments the impact of insecurity in the state. However, he's glad that no part of the state is under the control of bandits and other criminals.
It's unfortunate that the security challenge has not abated as we had hoped. But one thing we have done is that sometimes it's difficult for people to appreciate what government has done when these killings continue. But I want you to know that if we hadn't done the much we had done with the intelligence at our disposal, by now Plateau State would be a different place. There are so many details we cannot unveil, but I'm glad to tell you that, in fact, among the states in north-central Nigeria, the Plateau State is relatively safer than others, because at the moment we do not have any local government in Plateau State